Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up every morning with absolute certainty that today you will move forward. Not because the conditions are perfect, not because you suddenly feel inspired, but because you have the power to make progress no matter what. Most people don't struggle because they lack talent or intelligence. They struggle because they wait. They wait for the right time. They wait for motivation. They wait for some external force to push them into action. But let me ask you, how much progress have you ever made by waiting? Progress isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. Maybe you've felt stuck before. Maybe you've told yourself, I'll start when things settle down, or I'll get serious when I feel ready. But what if I told you that waiting is the very thing keeping you stuck? Today, I'm going to share how you can make progress every single day, no matter what stands in your way. By the end of this talk, you'll walk away with a simple, powerful framework to ensure that every single day, no matter how chaotic, challenging, or uncertain, brings you one step closer to your goals. Because progress isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about deciding that right now is the moment. Let's begin. Progress is not a destination, it's a way of thinking. A mindset that determines whether we move forward or stay stuck. Many people believe that progress is measured by big achievements, visible milestones, or external validation. But the truth is, the most meaningful progress happens in the small, consistent steps we take every single day. It's not about reaching the top of the mountain overnight. It's about taking one step, then another, even when the peak is nowhere in sight. What often holds people back is the belief that they must have everything figured out before they begin. They think they need the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, or the perfect moment to start. But that's an illusion. Progress doesn't require perfection. It only requires movement. The people who make the most progress in life aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the ones with the most resources. They are the ones who keep going, who take action despite uncertainty, fear, or doubt. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparison, looking at others who seem to be ahead and thinking, I'll never get there. But what we don't see are the thousands of small steps they took to arrive at that point. Every expert was once a beginner. Every great leader once doubted themselves. Every success story is built on a foundation of daily effort, repeated over time. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't is not luck, talent, or intelligence. It's the commitment to keep moving forward, even when it feels like no progress is being made. Some days progress is obvious. You close a deal, you finish a project, you reach a personal milestone. Other days, progress is invisible. It's making a tough decision, learning from a mistake, or simply showing up when you don't feel like it. But no matter how small, every step adds up. Growth is happening even when you can't see it. The key is to trust the process, to keep taking action, and to recognize that the path forward is built one decision, one effort, one step at a time. By shifting our mindset from focusing solely on results to valuing progress itself, we free ourselves from the pressure of perfection. We begin to see that every step, no matter how small, is worth taking. And when we embrace this mindset, we unlock the ability to move forward every single day. Clarity is the fuel that drives momentum. Without it, progress feels like wandering in the dark, taking steps, but never really knowing if they're in the right direction. When people struggle to move forward, it's often not because they lack motivation or discipline, it's because they lack clarity. They don't have a clear vision of where they're going or a defined path to get there. Without clarity, even the most talented, hard-working individuals can feel stuck, overwhelmed, or lost in endless distractions. The most successful people, the ones who make consistent progress, understand the power of clarity. They know exactly what they are working toward, and more importantly, why it matters. They don't just have vague aspirations, they have a specific target. They break their big goals into smaller, actionable steps, so they always know what needs to be done next. When you have clarity, decision-making becomes easier, and every step forward feels purposeful instead of random. One of the biggest mistakes people make is setting goals that are too broad or undefined. Saying, I want to be successful, or I want to get in shape, sounds good, but it lacks direction. What does success look like? How do you measure progress? What actions can you take today to move closer to that goal? Without these answers, motivation quickly fades, replaced by confusion and procrastination. But when a goal is broken down into tangible, achievable steps, progress becomes inevitable. It's no longer overwhelming because there's always a clear next move. Clarity also acts as a filter. In a world filled with distractions, opportunities, and endless choices, it's easy to become scattered, pulled in 100 different directions without making real progress in any of them. But when you have clarity, you can say no to what doesn't align with your goal and focus only on what moves you forward. It helps eliminate unnecessary stress and wasted effort, because every action is intentional. People often wait for clarity to come to them, hoping that one day everything will suddenly make sense. But clarity is not something you wait for, it's something you create. It comes from taking action, experimenting, learning, and adjusting. It's built through reflection, questioning, and refining your vision over time. The clearer you are about what you want and how to get there, the easier it becomes to build momentum and make meaningful progress every single day. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Many people rely on motivation to take action, believing that they need to feel inspired before they can begin. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes unpredictably. Some days you wake up feeling energized, ready to take on the world. Other days you feel drained, unmotivated, and tempted to put things off until tomorrow. The problem is, waiting for motivation creates inconsistency, and inconsistency kills progress. The people who achieve their goals aren't the ones who feel inspired every day. They are the ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. They understand that discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel in the moment. This mindset separates those who make real progress from those who stay stuck in cycles of procrastination and excuses. Discipline is not about pushing yourself to extremes or forcing yourself to work endlessly. It's about committing to small, non-negotiable actions that move you forward daily. When discipline becomes part of your identity, progress becomes automatic. You no longer waste time debating whether to take action. You just do it because it's who you are. Athletes don't train only when they feel like it. Writers don't write only when they're inspired. The best in every field understand that consistent effort leads to results, even on the days when it feels difficult. One of the biggest myths about discipline is that it requires superhuman willpower. In reality, discipline is built through structure, habits, and routines. When you design your environment to make the right choices easier, discipline becomes second nature. If your goal is to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, put a book where you'll see it every day. If you want to improve your focus, eliminate distractions before they derail you. Small adjustments in your environment create massive changes in behavior. People who struggle with discipline often view it as restrictive, as if it takes away freedom. But the opposite is true. Discipline creates freedom. When you have discipline, you're not controlled by fleeting emotions, distractions, or external circumstances. You take control of your actions and ultimately your future. The more you strengthen this skill, the easier progress becomes. Because success is not built on how you feel, it's built on what you repeatedly do. Resilience is what allows you to keep moving forward when obstacles appear. No matter how well you plan, how disciplined you are, or how motivated you feel, there will always be challenges that test your commitment. Unexpected failures, setbacks, criticism, and moments of doubt are part of any journey. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not that successful people avoid difficulties, it's that they push through them. They don't see obstacles as stop signs, they see them as checkpoints that test their determination. Most people believe that failure is the opposite of success, but the truth is, failure is a necessary part of success. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of setbacks, adjustments, and lessons learned the hard way. The problem isn't failure itself, it's how people respond to it. Some see failure as a sign to stop, while others see it as feedback, a signal to adjust their approach and keep going. Those who develop resilience understand that no single failure defines them. What defines them is how they respond and what they do next. Resilience is built through mindset. When challenges arise, many people ask, Why is this happening to me? But resilient people ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of dwelling on problems, they focus on solutions. Instead of feeling defeated, they look for ways to adapt. This shift in perspective makes all the difference. The strongest individuals are not the ones who never struggle, but the ones who refuse to let struggle define them. One of the most effective ways to build resilience is to develop emotional control. Difficulties become overwhelming when emotions take over. Frustration, fear, self-doubt, or disappointment can cloud judgment and lead to inaction. But when you train yourself to manage emotions, to step back and see the bigger picture, you gain the power to respond rationally rather than react emotionally. The ability to stay calm under pressure, to think clearly in the face of adversity, is what allows resilient people to keep making progress even in the toughest situations. Another key to resilience is having a strong sense of purpose. When your reason for taking action is bigger than the obstacles you face, you will always find a way forward. People who give up easily often lack a deep enough reason to persist. But those who have a clear, meaningful purpose push through pain, discomfort, and setbacks because they know what they are working toward. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. Progress is not the result of repeating the same actions over and over. It comes from pushing boundaries, taking risks, and embracing challenges that force you to evolve. The comfort zone feels safe because it's predictable, familiar, and free of uncertainty. But it is also the place where progress stops. The moment you become too comfortable, you stop learning, stop improving, and stop becoming better than you were yesterday. People who achieve extraordinary results understand that discomfort is not something to be feared, it is something to be embraced. They know that feeling uncomfortable is a sign of growth, not failure. When you challenge yourself to do things that feel difficult, you expand your abilities, build confidence, and develop skills that once seemed out of reach. Every great achievement begins with a decision to step into the unknown, to take on something that feels beyond your current capacity. It is in these moments of discomfort that you discover what you are truly capable of. One of the biggest misconceptions about growth is that it happens in giant leaps. In reality, growth is a series of small, consistent steps taken outside your comfort zone. It's the willingness to try something new, to speak up when you're unsure, to take on a challenge even when you doubt yourself. Every time you face uncertainty and push forward anyway, you stretch your limits and redefine what is possible. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes effortless. What once scared you becomes second nature. This is how real progress happens, not overnight, but through steady, intentional growth. Fear is the biggest barrier to stepping outside the comfort zone. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough. These are the voices that keep people stuck. But fear is not a stop sign, it is a signal. It means you are standing at the edge of growth. The people who move forward are not those who never feel fear, but those who refuse to let fear control their actions. They take the leap even when they are unsure, and trust that growth will happen in the process. The key to making consistent progress is to reframe discomfort as a sign that you are on the right path. The more you push beyond what feels safe, the stronger, more capable, and more confident you become. Every challenge you take on prepares you for the next, and every step forward brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. The people you surround yourself with will either push you forward or hold you back. No one achieves great things alone. The environment you choose, the relationships you nurture, and the conversations you engage in all influence your mindset, motivation, and ability to make progress. If you want to grow, you need to be intentional about the people in your life. The right people will challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable, while the wrong people will drain your energy, fill you with doubt, and keep you stuck where you are. One of the most powerful things you can do for your progress is to seek out those who have already achieved what you are working toward. When you spend time with people who think bigger, dream bigger, and take action, their mindset becomes contagious. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. You start believing in yourself at a higher level. Surrounding yourself with people who push you to grow creates an environment where progress becomes natural. Many people hold themselves back because they stay in environments that reinforce self-doubt and limitation. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, excuses, and small thinking, it becomes nearly impossible to break free from that mindset. Progress requires making hard choices about who you give your time and energy to. It means letting go of relationships that no longer serve your growth and seeking out those who elevate you. This does not mean abandoning people. It means being aware of who influences your thoughts and actions the most. Accountability is another key factor in making daily progress. When you share your goals with someone who genuinely wants to see you succeed, you create an external force that keeps you on track. It is easy to let yourself down in private, but much harder when someone else is holding you to a higher standard. The most successful individuals understand the power of accountability. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, who remind them of their commitments, and who push them to stay consistent even when motivation fades. It is not just about who you spend time with, but also the kind of conversations you engage in. If you constantly talk about problems, you will stay stuck in problems. But if you engage in discussions about solutions, ideas, and possibilities, your mindset shifts toward progress. The energy of your environment shapes your belief in what is possible. And the more you immerse yourself in a space that encourages growth, the faster you move toward your goals.